Hello. So it's been a while. Real life has got in the way of the game a bit. I missed out. I missed the last turn, unfortunately. I forgot to hit record before ending the turn, so I never got a chance to do the recording. And then there was a bit of a delay due to real life issues on my opponent's side. But we've finally got there, and we're on the glorious turn 7. Now, I've been working on this one for a week so far. Let me just flip over and show you what it looks like. So I've been working this for a week so far. I've basically been doing a mass, I don't know what you call it, survey? Survey is not the word. Census of the Russian army. And breaking down how I've got it all organised and trying to rework it because things are starting to fall apart, and I need to be a bit more flexible than I am. So this is what the main bit of the front looks like just now. I've not moved anything yet since my opponent's turn really. So there's a lot. This is a sort of pre-turn 7 report if you like, and I'll go through everything in detail in the next video. But as you can see in the north here, they're crossing the river. They've forced a number of crossings, pretty much in trouble there. That line has now fractured. In the middle again, there's just a massive slog going on. He's slowly breaking through there. Minsk has fallen, and there's not a lot between Minsk and there's a big hole in the line there. You can see. As we go further south, this gap here is fine because it's just a big river. He's not crossed yet, but he has broken through here, the north of this line, and he's heading towards Kiev, and he's pretty much about there. So he's pretty much broke through to Kiev. So this line here is going to have to fall back. It's quite an interesting one because I was watching a sort of YouTube video recently that just showed you the flow of the Eastern Front. Sort of from Barbarossa to the fall, and this sort of is mirroring exactly what happened. As in down here, I watched the video and I saw the Germans went along, cut down there and surrounded all the Russians down there, and I can see that's happening again. My opponent's going for that straight away, so what we're at is a point where this lot's fallen back. I'm just reorganised them and they're going to fall back. Now, one of the things I plan on doing, you'll notice there's still a hell of a lot of units here that are surrounded. And some of these have been there since turn 1, and I had a wee look at a few of them. Some of them are like 1 or 2 infantry regiments, and they're surrounded by 6 German ones. Now, I'm struggling to work out why he's doing that. The only logical reason, there's only 2 reasons really. One, a gamey one, as in he knows if these units get wiped out, it triggers the deployment of other units. But in all honesty, I'm not really bothered. You know, if one regiment's holding up 6 Russian ones, 6 German ones, I'm quite happy with that. That is not a problem for me at all. So I don't think it's that. I think he's casualty averse. He's just trying to bomb them slowly but surely with artillery and aircraft into the ground to save his troops' lives. And in that case, so my plan here when falling back isn't to just run. My plan here is to defend, in fact, every bridge, every crossing on the railway lines to try and delay supply line. Because all these guys, they're mostly cut and they're out the way, they're not really an issue, they're taking up units, but if I can dig in guys along railway lines and in cities and stuff on key strategic points, he's going to have to fight them to get rid of them, and that means he's more likely to take casualties and cost him more supply in the long run. So out of this lot, quite a chunk of it, about half or more, is just going to be sacrificial and going to get wasted. Up here, I'm trying, so you can see all these red units behind the lines. These are all reinforcements that have been gearing up, and now I've got this lot all organised into army groups. So I'm starting to plan my next line of defence along here, down through Kursk, etc., and up to Moscow. And I'll show you that in a minute. Oh, in fact, I'll show you that just now. It's probably a good time to. So this is the map of the whole engagement. I've spruced it up a bit. As you can see now, I've got a bunch of individual army groups, a lot more. I broke everything down a lot more to give me a bit more control over it. And you also see his flag statuses in them all, so that's generally that represents as green means they have enough forces, I believe, to fulfill their orders. Amber means it's a bit dodgy, and red means nah, they don't have enough yet. And you can see the second line here. I need to grade all that yet, but that's just a whole bunch of new armies starting up to form a next line of defence. So if we zoom in a bit, you can see I've done away with all the green lines. Instead, what's important is really where the Germans are. So there's that big push I mentioned towards Kiev there that they've really shoved forward, and they've started, you know, if you look down the south, they've started breaking through the lines in a couple of places down there. And in the north, there's a big push there. That's the kind of main breakthrough they've had there as well. Sort of, they're pushing up from the Minsk area rather than across, because there's still a lot of units dying in the Minsk area that's sort of slowing them down a bit. Up here in the Callan, there's been this push here to try and get to the railway line. I think I've managed to position things to stop that. like a bit of maths. I've went through and sort of, I'm still in the processes of getting all the command and control and working out my entire battle plan for all the different army groups. But I've done a bit of a cataloguing of what is currently active from the Russian side. So we've got 235 infantry divisions, so that's about 3 regiments pop. Just almost 21 motorised divisions, 37 tank divisions, 24 cavalry divisions, 5 para divisions, 6 mountain divisions, 1 mounted cavalry division, 60 support infantry. So that is things like independent machine gun battalions, fortified regions, etc. that are just assigned to armies. There's a hell of a lot more than 60 of them out there, but I can't be arsed cataloguing everyone that's sitting in the backwater. 15 engineer regiments. Oops, silly thing. 15 engineer regiments, 8 pontoon regiments, 68 support ones, so that's like higher level HQs, mostly just higher level HQs there. 4 marine regiments, 67 artillery units assigned. Again, there's a lot more of them, they're just not assigned yet to anything, and 70, which again is not assigned to sort of anything really. So we went through and we graded all the units, we cleared out a lot of the crap we had to try and make this a bit more manageable for myself, and then I can sort of use this to locate what's in an army, so which formations are in the army and then what is in each formation and then anything about it. So that's my theory, and hopefully that'll bring me a bit more command and control, because I'm reaching a point where I'm struggling to assign units to where they need to be in the front line. It's just such a goddamn big front line and everywhere needs them now. So I need to go away and have a wee think now about where do I want to reinforce, you know, because mostly I've been focusing on trying to reinforce the areas that are successful, which has worked to some degree because some areas are holding really nicely, but then there's other areas which are just falling apart, and there's a couple of big holes, so drastic action needs to be taken now to slow the Germans down. So like I said, change of game plan, slash and burn, dig in and just use units to be as annoying as possible, and just really start abusing the fact I've got just such superior manpower in the long run to the Germans, just to try and slow them down. So we'll see how that goes. So this is just a quick pre-turn 7 video, if you like, and then over the next few days I'm going to get around to actually moving units and working out turn 7, so I'll do a proper breakdown of what's happened then.